this is what it comes about, like said the growth part, right? Understanding how, like Draft said, everything stems from something. You know, where like how I grew up, man, I grew up like thinking, I remember my first relationship, I would literally start arguments just to make up. Because in my mind, love didn't look like love unless we were overcoming something.
They call that toxic.
And you feel me? And my mom,
that's
like,
a drug. That's
like,
a drug.
And it'd be,
I like that.
It'd be certain things that I'd be like, yo, Jacob, it ain't that deep. Let it go.
Yeah.
And like,
No, fuck that.
It'd be like, yo, like,
You
yo,
out to hear me.
you
out to hear
It'd be like one person on my shoulder says Jacob is over now. She already apologized. Other motherfucker on my shoulder, nah, nigga, argue for one more hour, nigga, and then make up the last hour.
The devil and the angel, right?
Yeah, like, and I'm sitting there arguing. I'm like, yo, and next thing you know, I'm like, babe, you know, I love you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you're right. I do apologize for taking it that way. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I would actually have the conscious knowledge, like you know, of what I was doing, but I could not stop doing it. Like in the whole like the whole idea of us arguing, this like it's like for me, I wanted to hear you apologize a certain way. Like if my feelings was hurt, I wanted to hear you say, Jacob, I'm sorry that I hurt your feelings for da 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 da. And if I didn't hear it that way, the argument keep going. And they say no, I had to be like, bruh,
you crazy.
It's not that deep, but I got and I had to really check myself. And like, and I thought it was normal. I thought what I was going, like what I remember I had a friend tell me one time, he said, man, I don't argue in my relationship. I said, bro, you don't argue? So like, y'all don't love each other. Like, no, that's okay. Yeah. It's okay.
You're damaged.
Like, damn, like, I'm that fucked up, but I mean, a lot of it comes from a list full of shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Me losing my mom at such a young age. Like, my memorization of my mom and my dad interaction was abusive. You know, police getting called, you know what I'm saying, fighting, motherfuckers talking to each other crazy. Yeah, that's what I was used to see. That's what love looked like.
That dangerous love.
And I grew up with my grandma. My grandma didn't have a husband. She wasn't married. So I didn't, like, everything I seen literally was toxic.
So do you still think you still got a little bit of toxic in you? Like, you want to, you know what I mean?
You know what's crazy part is? I actually ask myself that all the time. And that's one of the reasons why I'm single at this moment. And I'm actually in therapy. Because I don't know, like, cause like my communication is yelling. Like it used to be yelling. Like I get mad, I immediately start yelling, or my voice get raised. Even if it's not yelling, my voice get raised.
Elevated. Because
I haven't been in a relationship so long, it's easy to say that I'll never do that shit again, cause I'm growing. But I don't know until I get in a relationship. But I can say that I'm taking the steps. It's all about taking a step. It's one thing to say you crazy or like feel like you do things that are, you know what I'm saying, incorrect. But if you're not taking the steps, that's why I started therapy, because when I do get in a relationship, I want my next one to be like really solidified. Like I want it to be like, man, this makes the most fucking sense. But I gotta be the best me.
Yeah,
I gotta be the best me in order to do that.
To tell you, you know, you gotta be real with yourself. I always say that you got to be real with yourself. At the end of the day, you can fake it to everybody in the world, but when you get home and it's you. And you gotta deal with that. You feel me? And you know if you need to get better.
Be honest with you, you don't know what type of man you are until your feelings get involved too, though.
Yeah.
Because like for example, I always joke around. Get this example: you would date a girl that like hang out around with nothing but niggas, and that shit don't bother you. Cause your feelings not involved. Next thing you know, you in love and you like, why you always with nigga with John and them?
But that's like
because your feelings are now
but listen,
and so like you gotta be honest with yourself.
But
like,
listen, that go back to yourself, because you insecure somewhere if you feel that way. You knew she was doing that beforehand. But
a lot of times those insecurities.
Now you mad.
A lot of times those insecurities don't start kicking your ass until you catch feelings.
Exactly.
But see, the thing is, a lot of us are insecure. Be honest, like
we are.
That's one thing we are afraid to admit.
And that's
most
what I mean.
of us are insecure. We're dealing with some type of insecurity.
And that's what I mean. When you get home to yourself, you gotta be real with yourself. You know your flaws. That's why people that are ahead of life, they see their flaws early. They don't be lying to themselves. Like a lot of motherfuckers lie to their own self. And then you're not where you need to be or where you picture yourself to be at.
And a lot of times what happens is that, like when you're saying talking about relationships, we be so comfortable with the picture we see now. But then when we finally get it within the home, we want to sit here and attach our insecurities on it. like the example you said, if you notice, she a girl that got homies. Not her girlfriend, she got homies. And then when you make her your girl, you want her to detach from the homies. That's what you got her at. You got her at, so the only thing she can do is respect you. You know what I'm saying? She shouldn't ever have to sit here and take away the homies.
And explain herself why you was hanging with the homies. It's just
simply, I'm in a relationship, and hey, homies, whatever we did, because you never know. She could have been getting passed around, whatever it been. She could have been doing that. But the fact that she got a man now, she got to tighten up.
Nah, fuck all that. You a sucker, you come there. Talking about getting passed around. That means
I'll tell you the realest thing you can do is this. Is when you see a woman that you like and you pursuing, and there's certain things that you like it's being real with yourself. Like, you know what? I probably would be concerned with this if we were. Is having that conversation early on. Listen, because I've had that conversation. I told a girl once, I said, "Yo, I don't mind you having male friends. I just ask you if I have a concern, can you please not just automatically shut it down and call me insecure, but actually hear my concern." That's a conversation I had up front. I would have never had that conversation in the past. But it's conversations now as I'm getting older and I'm maturing. Is like, because let's be honest, I have one of my best friends is a woman. And I would never let no woman come in my life and shut that off. But if she had a concern with our relationship, I'm supposed to meet that head on.
Absolutely.
Not straight up be like, oh man, well that's your own insecurity. That's the problem we do with insecurities. We brush them off. Man, I'm sorry, that's your insecurity. You got to deal with that on your own. Yeah. Nah, man, most of the time we can't heal from self-insecurities. It takes certain
you giving it to us acting like that.
It takes certain things like to actually, you know what, like to make us feel more at ease. So I tell a woman straight up early on, but that's why it's the mature part. Have these conversations early on and straight up be like, hey, is there anything about me right now how I move? Like, you feel me? Like, even like, example, like, you know what I'm saying, Jamal Barber, he always busy. Tell me on the first date if you think you can handle that. Yeah, don't try to fake and pretend like you okay with that. Right. And I feel like we don't take advantage of the first date enough. Like, you know what? I don't like that you do that at all. You know what, Jacob? Like, Jacob, you know what, Jacob? I think you feed into social media too much. Like, tell me straight up if that's a problem. So now when we, like, I'm not finding out later on when I'm sitting there doing my social media shit, you telling me that you got problems with my social media. You ain't never told me you had problems with my social media. Now we at the altar and you like, hey, Jay, I just want you to can you delete your social media? Like,
boy, that's what? The death for me.
But let me ask you this though. First date, you dropping all that shit on him?
No,
I think at least try like
that's a little too much.
Forward, like
that's a little too much. Yeah,
because she like you pressing.
You pressing.
Essentially, she already gave.
I'm about to say a little too much.
She already gave you a chance. You know how hard, like
you get levels when we go along.
like how it is. Like some girls are at ease where if you want to hang out, kick it with them, you ask that, they'll sit here and be with it. They either gonna say yes or no. But then when you get to that point, and then you got the other stuff. Like, do you really drop? Because, like, you know, I always tell people, like, with women, our first thing is our physical sight with them. It's not about whatever the hell that they have in the background.
And that's vice versa. They be like, they don't be, listen, that's why I say, don't be pressing to get them draws. Because if you already engaged, involved, and she giving you feedback.
She
already know.
You already know. That motherfucking leg.
Like I said, it's going to be, it could be day 1. It could be day 69, 72.
She may have, what's it, the 90-day rule?
Man, it could be. Hold on. Listen, you be believing that? Come on, listen.
I answered the question. You said, like, when do you do it? I think honestly, it's
90 days.
I think it's being honest about your. I think it's about being honest about your intentions. Because there's certain girls we know, real talk. When we talking to, we got one thing in mind.
I ain't gonna lie.
If it's a girl I really like, I might not go all in.
Yeah, you're not going for it.
But I'm probably gonna give her 25%. Like, yo, I'll be honest. This is the type of person I am.
Nah. Because then you're going to be too geek.
You know what
I'm saying? You're going to think like, yo, this is the girl I really want. Like, I'm not trying to be out here, like, overindulging in that.
Because one false move, you can sit here and be back in the DMs.
But listen, not even that, bro. Like, for real, it's about how you stepping. I don't care what you talking about.
Honestly, nowadays, you can be the ugliest motherfucker. Woman just want what you got.
Listen. You can get the girl everybody wanted. Ain't none of them, and you know, ain't none of them niggas hit it. Like, you feel me? And the one that did, everybody know, and he was cheesy, probably. Mm-hmm. She like who she like. Yeah, so listen, you can listen. If you come straight forward, you might get it quicker than you think you.
I was gonna say, I'll be honest.
You not faking the fuck. She like you for you. Don't be over here like, oh, I do this, I do that. Just be yourself.
To be honest,
you always lose out when you don't be yourself.
If a chick fuck with you, she gonna offer you grace. Man, what I mean by
that's
grace
deep
is
as hell right there.
Brother Jacob speaking.
Grace is something I live by. Like, that's 100% something I live by. Because I think a lot of times, like, as men, we offer grace a lot. Like, when we date, like I joke around. I give this example. If a woman out here doing some shit on the first date that you don't like, most of the time we're like, man, it's cool. I'm gonna let it go. Women. Women taking
your first time. Goodbye.
I feel like men. We be coming up with reasons why to fuck with a woman. Women be coming up with reasons why not to fuck with us.
100%.
So you feel me? Like, that's what I mean. Like, we offer a little bit more grace. And I say this jokingly, right? But like, let's say you do. Let's say, man, you fart on the first date. This is like coming up. If you fart on the first date, she probably got in her mind, I'm done with this.
But
if she farts, bro, we might be like, damn. But you know what, man?
Hell no, I'm thinking the same thing. I'm a sophisticated nigga. Fuck that.
But more likely than not, a man probably gonna be like, oh man, we'll give you excuses. So that's why I say, like, as far as like there's certain.
But you gonna treat that a certain way too.
There's just certain combos I think early on that you gotta take a chance to have, whether or not it turned them off or not. If it turned them off, she just didn't provide you the grace that maybe you deserve.
Listen. You know how that relationship gonna be
after the first date,
after 100%. The first couple encounters.
But
y'all either gonna be just
honestly,
or y'all gonna be working towards something.
Do men really be sitting there checking women off after the first date the same way women
check
I
do. Yes, I do.
I feel like you high caliber and high profile, you will. Yeah. You stand on what you believe in, you do.
I know how I'm coming, so I ain't about to play myself.
I feel like
I work hard for where I got.
I feel like, and like I can't. I'm not speaking on all men, but this is just being honest, and we can't like if we take the time to step back and we might do it now, but if we take this time and step back on like who we were, like how we've been in the past. A lot of times as men don't walk in the first date with a list of standards, whereas a woman walks in on the first date with a list of standards. Does he meet this? He doesn't.
It's not standards though. How you carry yourself as a woman is gonna let us know everything. And we don't got standards. We gonna know how you carry yourself. Listen. A Facebook profile versus a Facebook profile. Two totally different outcomes. Facebook, you know what you're getting.
But you're not being realistic because a lot of times what happens is we start leading with sex. Like, man, fuck it, she don't meet my standards, but I still fuck her.
You still hit.
You know what I'm saying? So we still entertain it, and we also know oftentimes.
But you know what it is.
Dick leads. No, that's not true. Because motherfucker fuck a bitch just purely off of fucking, like, I just want to fuck her. Next thing you know, this nigga in a relationship. Like, how did that happen?
Because you like it there.
We just got to fucking a few times.
And you like it there.
You valuing that over everything else.
You gotta think. After you hit that, you feel me? That's when I feel like a guy is really open to like, all right, that was good. So what's the relationship part talking about? We're not going.
Nah. Hold on, Drive. Wait a minute.
What you mean?
I don't want to interrupt you on that. What I'm simply saying is this:
if the sex like you ain't keeping that, you're not even gonna keep going.
Drive, bro.
It's nothing else to talk about.
Drive. If you done had sex with a lot of women. It don't matter how good that pussy is. If she don't meet like Sho said, if she don't meet your standards, then you're not going to even care about the good pussy.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You're going to know what the relationship is going to be.
You're not going to question it, though.
I know. Exactly. But I'm saying. Right? Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you know you just about to be fucking.
But that's the problem. We still lead with we still go in and entertain.
That's why it's important as a man, when you know the value of your time, all these chances, we not giving giving chances, bro, like y'all talking about.
Well, then, like you said, like a woman will literally like, yo, I'm done. Fuck it.
You entertain, and listen, you entertain any of your pleasures. If you like eating, you gonna eat. If you like watching TV, you gonna binge watch TV. That's your time. That's why it's important as a man, when you know the value of your time, all these chances, we not giving chances, bro, like y'all talking about. Once you know your time is valuable, that you are rare. I'm not saying women ain't rare, but you are a rare man. It's not a lot of niggas like that.
Because you
carry yourself a certain way. It's a confidence you got.
But the conversation is not, hey, I individually am like this, like that, like, because Draft, I totally understand. Once you understand that self-worth, that's just amazing. What I'm saying is, overall on a spectrum, more men are likely to say fuck the standard part, because I just want to, you know what I'm saying, you look good.
But like, you know what it is, though.
But like a woman would literally like say, oh, wait a minute, he said he only make da-da-da, cut off. Oh, he only does da-da-da, cut off.
And why you can't do that? Why you can't do that?
You're not here. I'm not saying men don't do that. What I'm saying is oftentimes we don't
working,
do it.
We not
saying
I'm
not saying that men.
Why you always at home? Every time you call me, I'm at work. So what are you doing? You got too much time. You got too much time.
But man, be honest with you. How often, when a man first start talking to a woman, do he really give a fuck about that stuff?
I do. If it's something I feel like I can be with, I'm going to want to know.
Hey, that's some bullshit.
Nah, so this is a real ass
question.
What do you mean? So this is a real ass question right here.
Let me hear what you want to ask.
So before, all right, so say, you meet a joint, you kicking it with her, y'all texting back and forth, so on and so forth, right? Mm-hmm. Before going on that first date, I feel like you either kind of make it up in your mind is, if this is something I'm going to actually try to realistically pursue, or it's going to be something that I'm going to hit, or so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? Because you got that in your mind.
You know what it is.
But then,
I'm telling you, you categorizing it.
But a lot of men's just hitting look real relationship like.
Yeah.
Because and you and I both know a lot of niggas, I'm just fucking that look relationship like. There's a nigga right now that's been with his bitch for 10 years that he was just fucking, and she don't meet not one of those standards that he wanted, but he was just fucking.
He settled.
Okay, but a lot
that's
of times,
self-value, bro. That's his problem. All them headaches that come with that, he settled for that.
He put it on himself.
He settled for that.
So Draft is just saying he never settled.
No, you gotta get better. No. I did, but I'm talking about you had to be real with yourself. This is why I say I had to get my shit together.
So
always real with yourself.
It goes back to what I was saying. I didn't say you're not real with yourself.
Let me talk. Let me talk. I'm gonna answer. Yes, we haven't, but you gotta wake the fuck up. You want to keep.
The point of what I was trying to say.
But that's what I'm saying. If you don't wake up and start building yourself and stop wasting time with other people and take that time for yourself, get yourself right, you gonna carry yourself a certain way. Period. It's nothing else to it. Cause if you listen, once you build yourself up and you got your career going and you know your value, you know what you're making, and are you gonna just let something you like just tell you how it's gonna be? No. You don't have no opinion.
No, because I have ego-wise, right? Because like I say, it goes back to a cuteness, right? And I'm not gonna put no names on it because I'm gonna try to walk the right surface with it, because this shit could get me in trouble if I say what I want to say. But I can say, as a person who over time has like really tried to elevate himself in life, like just everything I've been through, like just trying to elevate where I'm at now, like where I'm at career wise, I have at times settled, because in my mind there was times that when I was younger, like in middle school, I was cute but I was too fat. In high school, I went to hood school. Like I've always been in the inner city. So like, hey, he's cute, but he ain't hood enough. He ain't this. So when I got older and I had a chance to revisit certain shorties from that I wanted to take up top before, I versus being like, you know what, man, you here now. Don't touch that.
Yeah.
I was like, no. I need her back, and at this time, she's not. She's not even what in my mind. Because a lot of times, people will put standards on a woman just by how good she look. Yep. Oh man, she's a 10. Why?
That worked in high school. Once you get older,
why? You know what I'm saying? And so for me, I was still running behind. I was still running behind. Like it felt like I was trying to make up for middle school Jacob. I was trying to make up for high school Jacob. And so next thing you know, you end up in a place where you like, damn, I don't even have to settle no more, but I did. I did. And so it's like, and so sometimes like, it goes back to the insecurity thing. I always wanted to be desired by a woman. And so all the women that I desired growing up, whether or not they on my level or not now, still there was like still an insecurity in me that needed that ego stroke.
Like you wanted to conquer that.
So like like you wanted to get back essentially. But eventually
I had some of those.
But it turns to a get back to like, oh, I like it here. I like it here. Now you over here with a situation that you like, damn, I just was trying to, you know what I'm saying? Now, I was just trying to conquer some insecurities, and now I'm over here forever.
And then sometimes, like what you just said, you did a get back move, so sometimes you'll stay there longer than what you actually supposed to be there.
Like it's pretty nice here.
So what happens is that
I still
because of where you put yourself as you scaled as a man, you'll sit here and go fuck with some bum stuff. And then you'll sit here and still stay there.
But listen,
you won't simply just hit.
Like, and this is what I mean. You got to keep it real from the get go. As a man, we know some shorties we just want to hit. Like, come on, they do it to us too. They got some niggas in their phone. They just listen. I know he do this. I know I'm gonna go eat with him. I know I'm gonna go this with him.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? They got niggas categorized. 100%. You know what I'm saying?
The 3-man weave.
But yeah, like, but you know, we kind of let them. Once you move, like, y'all be like, "How this nigga get with her?" Da da da. If he just be himself, you feel me? She accept what he come with.
But see,
you feel me?
Growing up, it wasn't like that though.
Oh yeah,
growing up like that, like realistically, growing up, boys and young men weren't taught to essentially be themselves. They had to sit. Their behavior was because of what they saw other dudes doing that got the girls that we tried to sit here and get.
But you know what?
Most of the time, everything is about elevate. That's why, like, a lot of times men will date lower because in our mind, like, because women are not designed to take care of. They're, you know what I'm saying? Like, what they're not. I'm sorry, they're not. They're not taught at a young age. Hey, when you get older, you're gonna better a man. You're gonna take care of him. Right. Whereas more like men get taught that. So we had dated a chick that may be working at McDonald's. Not saying everybody, but we had dated a chick because in our mind we gonna build her. We gonna elevate her.
But
and it's like, bro, no, you don't need to do that. That's not your job. But like because from a young age as men, we get told to take care of.
But this is today.
Take care of causes us to settle because we just date something that, like, bro, I'm not taking care of nobody.
Yeah, but fuck all that. The way social media is today. Listen, these young niggas done cut their feelings off. They don't give a fuck about these bitches. They disrespectful as fuck. The disrespect this day is on a whole nother level than we back in the day. You be scared to say some shit back in the day as a young person. They don't give a fuck and they treat these girls like shit. But the media, social media shows that these girls ain't nothing. They can be bought. Yep. You feel 100%. Me? And if you got that bag, they can be bought. But you feel me? You gonna buy something you like. Why you think celebrities got, all these rap celebrities got 50 hoes? You know what come with him? Ain't nobody fucking with Future questioning about his other bitch.
They buying female security.
Yeah, like
that's what it
is. What Future? You ain't gonna be like, Future, I really like you. I need you to cut your. Come on, he gonna look at you like he gonna talk to you. Just play her like that. Well, like, come on, man.
I think a lot of women's like. I go back to like love languages, right? I think a lot of women's love language changed. You remember back in the day, a woman like, I want a man.
It's
to
a price tag these days.
It's physical
it ain't changed.
Shit like that.
I want a man to spend time with me.
Them is the good ones, though.
I want a man
to
do this. I want a man to do that. Now it's like
it's a few of them. Them the ones we need.
I need you to apply pressure. Give. Like your love language. Hold up. So you tell me
you can be bought. That's all it is.
Women's love languages is literally went from time.
They time cost.
To gifts.
But that's the thing about this day and age. You put your price tag out there, that's how you coming. That's why I said as a man,
care about your time
once you get in your like Jamal, like once you start making money and you got different lights, it's very you're not gonna come disturb my peace because I'm already secure.
I know who I am.
I know who I am. So if I'm telling you I'm dating multiple people, That's your chance. That I'm telling you the truth. So ain't nobody gonna come to you as a woman. Mm-hmm. You got the choice there.
They still gonna come as a woman. They still gonna come to her as a woman.
Fuck all that.
But they're always gonna come to you as a woman.
Future's girls is not coming to each other as a woman.
But then that's just
they
honestly,
know what it is.
That's not them. That's kind of, I would say that's you having them in check, letting them know their position. Because if you're moving like that, you establish that from day one.
But you're not lying to them.
You're giving them the option. You're keeping their player.
Listen, this is what I come with.
Let them know their position. Like, yo, we just
listen. Just like when it's a positive and negative. Like when you pop a pill, I feel high as hell, but that crash is something vicious. Yeah, like you know what I'm saying. You never listen. That's just real though. Like you know what it's gonna do, but you also know what it come with.
And one thing I noticed, like when I started making money, it was a whole different ball game. I still had access to any type of woman. Any type of
everybody. Listen, I'm not saying all of them come with a price. Everybody's price tag is different though. But some people's is time.
But one thing I learned, and I'm just speaking for myself, like I live by this rule. Men are sexual creatures, especially the ones that know how to fuck women. Okay, so if you sit here and deal with I like sex, did I sit here and be too straightforward with that?
But hold on. Especially when men know
they go listen.
Bro. He said, well, you know,
listen.
He said, so for your brothers that don't know how to fuck, you're not a sexual creature. If your dick ain't where it's supposed to be, you shouldn't be having sex. He said, hey, give up sex because you don't know how to fuck.
He said a creature.
I'm just
he said, men are sexual creatures unless you don't know how to please me. Just to stop being a sexual creature.
You need to get out the way.
I'm not doing right.
You in the way. You need to get out the way.
You are hogging up the pussy, boy.
I'm just simply saying,
let me get some of that. Boy, you don't know what to do with that. I've been waiting on her. She said she done left you for 3 years. Y'all still living in the same apartment. Y'all ain't growing. Y'all staying in place. Watch out. Watch out. Listen, I should have been a pimp. Because I'm telling you, what? Them slick talking motherfuckers. Y'all ever watch some of them interviews with them pimps? They be like,
oh, yeah.
Listen, I could say this about a pimp. They put a price tag on their time. Mm-hmm. They put you feel me? If you ain't out there making me money, what is you doing? And they offer security. We gonna be in a big house. You know, you gonna have a nice car. Some people, like I said, this day and age, it's like, you know, your body sells as a woman. It sucks. It's like that, but that's what it is.
I mean, as a woman, your body.
That's from the day. That's from the beginning of the time.
Yeah. Your body
buying
sells
coochie
as a woman,
back then.
But then also on a man's point, your pockets and your career choices.
They was buying.
So that's why like what we were talking about last week.
They was buying pussy for 3 loaves of bread.
Gallon of milk.
Can I get a bucket of maize?
What? You said you need some whole grains?
Here go this watery thing.
Niggas was out here finding wives, but
Jezebels. That's what they call hoes back then.
Offering their daddy a pig.
Listen, that's what they was calling them back then.
For your daughter. What? A pig?
Come on, nah. They was catching them single moms that caught up and got pregnant by one of them motherfuckers. Like you had a baby at a wedlock back in the day. What? You ain't got no husband? You having babies out here? Oh hell no!
Because I was what I was saying earlier about like when we on our career path, we personally think that we got enough money to move however we want to move within the lifestyle that.
But you know if you got it.
No,
don't be trying to do it.
But I'm just saying,
be trying to do that and they never prosper as a person.
I'm saying like this. This all I'm saying is that
let Jamal talk, Draft.
Thank you very much. I got a little nervous. But I'm literally just saying is that when men focus on, like we just said, even in this podcast, like when you focus on your own shit, the pussy is gonna be there. Like women gravitate you, and it's so crazy because, like some men, and this may be an insecurity clause, is that when they see the dudes on TV, whether it's the athletes, the actors, not the movies, the rappers, and they got 50 girls, like you said, it's because of the money, and it don't matter if their position is they just getting smashed, they may get bought Birkins and stuff. We all know in the city, man, we got women here that act like they Miami women, and that's not the case. You got women here that think like dudes that are I don't like to call men average, but men that may not have it, They want them. If you want to fuck with me, put me on a plane. And this is what I said this to my best friend that is a female.
No,
like that's true.
They got the free cheese.
But I said this. I said this to my female best friend this week. I said this. I'm not trying to be a dick, but simply your behavior to the men that try to sit here and try to deal with you today. The only stuff that you sit here and say, like, you got to buy me gifts. You got to put me on a plane. You got to take me on trips, whether it's even a road trip. That's because of what the previous dudes did for her. She was not out here providing it for herself. A lot of women would sit here and be like, I can do this on my own, boom, boom. And it's like, okay, you can do it on your own, but is that 80 hours a week working?
Yeah.
Like, really, is that 80 hours working?
That's not what you want, though.
That's what she sees.
You know what I'm saying?
I was say also a lot of times it's a fake visual painted social media age, like where if you look at most rappers, like the girls that they date now was really just some average chick back home.
You ain't had this.
But because he was ready to elevate her life, you feel me? Now every chick is like, not every chick, but a lot of chicks are like, yo, wait a minute. I didn't have to cause think about this. If a chick see a woman doing all these wife type things to try to become a wife, and it still gets her nowhere. But then being a bad bitch over here is getting these bitches wifed up. What they gonna do? Because unfortunately, as men, we don't say it's the standard. It go back to the standard thing. We will literally take an average woman and try to elevate her.
Every man's tricked.
And so, a woman doesn't have to a woman is looking at two options. She's like, yo, I done seen all my life. I didn't try to be this good woman, cook, clean, do all that. That didn't got me nothing. I see 10 girls that went and got a BBL. Now they with a pro athlete doing their thing. They getting flown out. You know what? I like that option better. But it's because of us, though. It's our fault because we have literally made it so easy and we have such low standards that now women realize I don't have to be nothing.
At the end of the day, you have that sit down. She has that sit down with herself. At the end of the night, like, damn, I'm really selling pussy. If that's herself, if that's how she want to carry herself, at the end of the day, you can make it cute. You can make it however you want. It's different levels of selling coochie. You feel me? Some pussy is worth $50,000. Some is worth $100.
Ain't no pussy worth $50,000. I can tell you that right now.
Listen, you got you're tripping.
If a man
no, hold on. Donald Trump's wife is not with that man just to be with him.
I understand what you're saying.
That coochie worth. He paying the ticket on it.
That's a meal.
That's a meal.
Maybe even a bill.
Ain't no pussy worth $50,000.
But I know. I hear.
They doing it.
Hey, Droff, I hear what you're saying, but this is another thing, and like I said this in the same.
If I can't buy her OnlyFans for $10, I don't want it.
I said this in the same conversation.
If I can't buy her OnlyFans for $10, I might even pay $19.99, depending on who the fuck she is. But other than that, I'm not paying no $50,000 for the pussy. That's all I'm saying. Sell me a dream on OnlyFans.
I know, but see, that's our problem. No, our problem is that.
No, that's my problem. I buy OnlyFans.
Okay, that is a personal problem. Speaking for yourself, but
I always wanted to see what this looked like.
All I'm simply saying is that it's men's fault.
I'm selling reviews.
It's men's fault because we put the price tag on it.
You right.
What we buy a woman, what we do for a woman is what we say
everything we do as a pleasure, though. But listen, that's everything we do as a pleasure. Because think about a car. Think about a car. If we keep it real when we about to buy a car, like shit, I pay $5,000 for that. I pay anything that's pleasure to us. We gonna do it.
Well, for me, what I agree with Jamal is we got to get out of the habit of blaming women for what we do. We set the standard. I remember one of my homies told me this one time. We was talking about Kevin Samuels, and we was like, yo, man, he's spitting real. He telling women yo, who are you to ask for, you know what I'm saying, this type of man, but you only bring this.
Yeah.
And he said, and he looked at me, he said, why are we telling women that? Well, we need to start telling men, if you hear, stop dating this.
Yeah.
And
that's settling.
And he told me that, and I said, that shit's so real. Because way too often when we have these conversations, we talk about, man, women want this, women want that, women this, women. And in reality, if we stop doing this shit, women won't be chasing it because we won't be offering it.
But listen, that's why. Yeah, but listen, that's why all these social media chicks is always dating. They ain't never got no ring. They always dating.
And I'm single by choice.
Niggas just flying women out on the first date.
Yeah, they having their way.
That's not a woman's fault for wanting that.
No.
That's our fault for giving it. So if we stop giving it, women won't start expecting it.
But listen, but if you just having your way, you just having your way.
Like you said, it goes back to your pleasures. 100%. Like
you go for whatever you want.
Like I got a lot of addiction.
How much you say that pussy?
Trust me, I got a lot of addiction. I will make a woman feel like a star for the pussy. But I mean like a local star. Like I'm not spending $50,000.
He said local star.
He said he might spend $5 though. He might spend $5.
Yeah, we can go to the roof tonight.
But see, like I think also, and I can say, and I can speak for me. I can speak for me. A lot of men are dealing with duality issues, right? Where like what I mean by that is the woman that we want mentally and emotionally is not the woman that we chase after because of physical. So we'll sit here like for me, I see a woman on social media, man, she be half naked, and horny Jacob is like, man, I'll marry that bitch tomorrow. Right now, right.
Go ahead, yo.
But in my right mind, Jacob is like, yo, she can never be my wife. But those two clash. And that's what happens a lot of times as men is what we want physically and what we want emotionally and mentally don't really
mix.
Be in the same. So we like it clashes because we sit here and give everything that we're supposed to give that woman emotionally, mentally to the woman that we want physically.
Don't really need.
Yeah, but this is where
duality.
When I say you gotta be real with yourself. You have to be real with yourself. When you dating a woman and you know you like, damn, I like it over here. Like, shit. Them other hoes hitting you up, the texts get drier.
You stop replying, leave them on
You
red.
don't really fuck with it. And this is
but no, we always
no,
say,
you got
woman come,
I'm telling you, I know, but listen. But listen, you gotta say.
It's calling me, B.
But that's where you gotta know what you got value in. Like if you got a partnership with a woman, you not risking that for that.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying? But if you have it your way, you and your lady knows that she ain't questioning you about having your way. Mm-hmm. That's why I say if you up front, I'm telling you, listen, I learned this. You listen, I done been through enough shit to just tell the truth in the beginning, bro. Like, trust me, it'll save you a lot of extra shit, a lot of questioning. If they already know what they getting into, you did your job as a man. You gave her a choice. If she can't be on social media crying out, that's when you, as a man, you gotta cut that off. You being too messy. You draining me. You costing me my mental health, and I'm at a good place right now. But I can't let them fuck that up.
One second. Hold on. One second. Okay. Where are you all at? Because like mentally when it comes to like your relationships, because it don't matter. Because I always say, we gonna trick regardless for pussy. Rather it's pussy or rather it's get in a relationship. So are you all, like your behavior as men, no matter where you're at in your career, within your money, are you sitting here, is your behavior to deal with one woman? Or are you okay with just dealing with multiple women? Yeah. Where are you at?
I'll tell you, for me, I'd rather deal with multiple women, and that's because of, like, when it goes back to, you know, it maybe it's the poet in me. Like I actually got a poem where I actually talk about this. But like I'd rather deal with multiple women because I don't believe one woman can provide me with grace.
Everything you need.
And so like because like every time I've been in relationships, it's always been, Jacob, you do this wrong. Jacob, you do that wrong. Like I've always like I noticed, and I'm not the only one because I've talked to multiple men. A lot of times we always get told when we're making mistakes, but we don't get bragged about as men. Like, man, that's my man. He do this for me. He do that, man. But like I always joke around, get an example, man. You fuck around, put cologne on, and every chick in the mall will tell you how good you smell, but your woman won't praise you. And I'm not saying like, but that's just an example. And so when I've been in relationships, like my love language is words of affirmation. I want to know from my woman that I'm a good man. And I have not been provided that. So for me, I'd rather be single because I don't want to keep being told that I'm wrong.
But listen.
And I'd rather just talk to them because like you talking to multiple women, I don't have to connect with y'all.
All right, now let me ask you this.
Fuck how you feel about me.
So this is why I say relationship and partnership. Do you want that woman to depend on you because y'all like and love each other? Mm-hmm. Is that what you're seeking?
No.
So why, like, like, so what do you look for in a relationship then? Or is a part? This is why I say a partnership, because if that's what you want in your woman in a partnership, y'all always gonna congratulate each other because y'all both winning.
And that's correct. And that's
y'all
100.
both winning.
And unfortunately, and that's why I have put myself in a position to be single. Because that's something I say on the first date. Like, I'll tell you one thing I say on the first date, anytime I date a woman, is I don't believe in happy wife, happy life.
Me either.
And I say that, and I say that on the first date because I say, yo, as your man, you should put just as much effort in as me to make me happy as I'm putting in for you.
And that's why I say y'all both in for each other.
And I even asked a woman, how did your last relationship end? And if her exact him, he did this, he did that, and not one time did you say, hey. Oh, well, you know what? I did this, I did that.
My last one,
I gotta be like, you know what? Because I can't be the only one taking responsibility.
I'm gonna be real.
We gotta both take accountability.
Now listen, when I sat down, and this is when my life really turned around, and I told myself, like, I gotta get my shit together. Like, me personally, I knew I wasn't shit in that relationship. That's why I ended it. Not because I ain't love her. I just couldn't. I didn't love myself like that. So I'm gonna give it to you. That's why we keep having problems. I don't have that self-love for myself yet. So how I'm gonna give you something I don't got?
Right.
I don't have it for me.
That's self-love thing.
You feel me?
Self-love
like that's where I say that's when you got that self-love. Then your time is costing.
I love
people
my way.
that are successful in life. Their time costs. It's not free to just mingle with them. You know, you got to put a price tag. You want a better life like them people on TV, you got to put yourself in position. It's not gonna happen if you just sitting around waiting for the lottery hit. You're gonna be just like the rest of them 85% motherfuckers just sitting at the crib hoping, wishing, instead of just being real with yourself, taking accountability and building yourself up to the man you should be. So all that other stuff is extra. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like if you have self-worth individually, can't nobody rain on your parade. Like, if you get in a relationship and you know your self-worth, if they leave, you're not crying, you're not tripping, you're not, oh my God. Yeah, you might be salty because damn, you was fucking with them, but they not fucking with you.
I ain't like your cry.
You feel me? I'm just saying, they not fucking with you.
I hope
so
how you gonna get hurt like that?
That's what I said. But that's how niggas be on social media. Boo-hooing.
It do.
Boo-hooing.
You know, and what's funny, what you say is, man, it's like that self-love thing. And I'll be honest, in the past, I have only loved myself as much as the women have loved me. And I say that to say, like, that how we talked about in the beginning, grace, right? Like, I've never been, like, really provided with grace in a relationship. Like, and so when I make mistakes, I don't provide my own self with grace because nobody has ever provided me with grace. So therefore, I struggle sometimes loving me. Like, I always give the example, like, man, one thing I can do is I can lose weight real quick, but I can also gain weight real quick. When I lose all the weight, man, I feel good about myself. I love myself because that's when I was hyped the most. But when I gain that weight back, that's when the love stops. So therefore, I stop at times loving myself. So therefore, one of the reasons why I did decide to go to therapy is so I can find validation within myself. And now, especially now, like, because I feel like I've always struggled with that validation with women. And so that's where, like I said, it comes to struggle myself. And so now that I have a daughter, my biggest fear is one day she gonna get older, like, Daddy, I'm not happy with you. And I know that's going to tear me up inside. Because it's like, damn, that's another woman telling me as a man, I'm not good enough. So I wanted to go to therapy so I can finally tell myself that I'm good enough. So then I won't start putting that onus on other people that start telling me that.
And everybody deals with how to turn their life around. But like I said, at the end of the day, you gotta be real with yourself. You know, like, if I know I need to stop eating them damn cakes at the motherfucking late at night when I get fried, then I know. I know. I can't be like, I'm blaming somebody else. I'm not putting my stuff on, because that's where the problems brew up. I put my problems on you. You're not really strong enough to handle my problems. And I think that's the problem. Because, like I said, this is why I always say my next is got to be a partnership. We got to have that love for each other. Like, all right, you not doing, what's wrong, what's going on? It's not enough of that talking, that communication, like, to let me know. Don't hold your tongue and then we gonna have a problem. Like, let me know. I know it's something wrong with you. I can see it in your action, your body language. I know. I what did I do? But don't be like, Man, I'm not dealing with that because I caught that off in my head. Like right now in my life, I'm not doing. If I'm asking you what's wrong with you, so I can know not to do it again, or if I'm that way and I'm be like, look, this ain't gonna work because this is just how I am.
Yeah.
But when it came to, let me ask you all this: when it came to like, because you all use terms like self-love. Before it even came to the point when you all were dealing with women, I'm not talking about elementary school, middle school. Maybe even high school, but like for me, how I was raised in my household, like from my grandmother, all the way from my grandmother, I was taught how to love myself. And one thing I noticed is that like within a home setting of dad and mom, or mom, usually it's just mom, they teach you to love others.
Others, yes.
And then when we sit here and we be in our 20s, like I'm 27, I'm not sure what you all's age are, but we sit here now in our 20s talking about self-love, and then it's like, what were you doing before?
It's not taught.
You were simply trying to appease other people.
Yeah, it's not taught, and it's not really. Just think, like even our culture, we depend on one another. Like just from way back when, we depend. We always been around. Yeah, we look out for one another. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like the people, the way society is, and the people that are successful, they realize I can't help you if I'm not at my best. And those are the successful people. If I'm not at my best, listen to these rappers' interviews and stuff. They tell them I can't take everybody right now, but I can get some businesses going. I can get y'all jobs. Some people want to sit at the table when they not putting in that work like you, and you can't please everybody. You have to be like, look, that's enough. We see what happened to MC Hammer. He went broke as fuck trying to please everybody. You got to be like, hold up. I can't just give y'all money, but I want to open up some businesses. You know what I'm saying? This is where you have to have a team too. It's important. That's why I said your woman should be your best partner, because that's the person you can, you feel me? Break bread with. Y'all mentally together, y'all emotionally together, because y'all both want the best for each other.
I mean, but what do you say?
Know
what do you say? Because not everyone's situation is going to be in a relationship type thing.
Yeah.
So what you need?
What, a water?
You
The Earl.
Oh, you want the Earl? Okay. You want the Earl. Yeah, put that man on, man. What's that? Mango Scotto? Yes, Mango Scotto. But like, not everybody. Like, and this is the thing. A lot of people think that everyone has to be in a relationship. We have to sit here and understand and realize this. Not everyone's going to be in a relationship. Not everyone's going to be a wife. Not everyone's going to be a husband. Majority of people are going to actually die alone and be by themselves. Or if they, like, it's a lot easier to make children. Look, it's a lot easier to sit here and die without having a partner, but you have kids. Because we can sit here and nut, and women can produce babies. Not all women can get pregnant, but as we see, there's a lot of babies out here in the world. So what I'm just asking is, we may not always be in a partnership, but how are you supposed to be? But look,
hold on. Listen, that's the great thing about being a human. Everybody got different stories. Some men might be here to replenish the earth and just make babies. That's their path, you know. Then there's some people that, you know, value themselves a little bit more. I just don't want to make babies. If I'm gonna make babies, I'm gonna have a plan. Look, we gonna raise doctors over here. Some people are strategic on how they make babies, and they're actually parents to multiple families. You know what I'm saying? I think it's all about as I think, and this is where I say, like, you know, I'm not saying men are superior or nothing, but this is off our lead, you know, how we want to lead off our tree. You know what I'm saying? If you come from a fucked up situation, you have the opportunity as a man to change that narrative. You wake up every day, you got an opportunity. This is where you have to be real with yourself. It took me on my birthday, I'm like, boy, man, my life, it was fun, but it ain't going how I needed it. I ain't got no funds. You feel me? Then that's where I was like, shit. Well, I know a trade, I could get some money doing this. And no matter what, if I'm employed or not, I can always work. No matter what. So I got a trade. Then I'm like, damn, I make a lot of money doing this shit. And I barely, like, I'm making what I was making for 45 hours worth of my time in a matter of 3 and 5 hours. Literally, like one job. So I'm doing one every day. Just do the math. You can be like, damn, what the fuck was I doing? You just think about all the time you wasted. So at this point, you like, okay, I can't go back to that because it was fun, but
you
shit,
don't want to be back there. So now you hold yourself accountable.
And now as you growing, you know what I'm saying? Women are attracted to men that provide. That's natural. That's, you know what I'm saying? But the ones that go above and the millionaires in your family, like, damn, they rich. How they get? But they own multiple business. She a manager. He provide the money. It's a team effort. That's why they winning. You know what I'm saying? You don't realize this life, it's a game to a degree. It's the same thing. Some people get it. Some people don't. You know what I'm saying? And in order to live a certain lifestyle, you have to come a certain way. It's no way you got to work for it. It ain't going to just hop in your lap. That's one in every, how much the people win the lottery? Mm-hmm. That shit is fake. You know what I'm saying? But we and this is why I say self-value, because we sleep on a lot of good ideas, man. I know we all done thought of some shit we can make some money off. And then how many times have it actually played out? Somebody did what you said and they made some little money off of it. You know what I'm saying? We sit on too many good ideas. That's why, and it's just all the way around with life. It start with schooling when you younger. I feel like public schooling just teaches us to be good workers. Yeah, none of that. Don't teach you the boss mentality. None of that stuff shows you how to be a boss. Where the real money is, when you know your value, like I said, I think that's schooling in general. Yeah, they want you to be workers. Yeah, they America want you to be workers. But the ones that break off and do their own thing, like, why would I go and work and I can do that same thing for me and make that money? Why would I give you a cut and I'm the worker? You know what I'm saying?
I think to kind of go based off of I think where Jamal was kind of going with what his question is. I think self-love really, like, when you really, really, like, key in on self-love is when you stop trying to find the other half and trying to find, like, somebody else for your other half and just realize that you are the complete one. You the one. Right? And I say that to say, like, it's like, even if you think about, like, most, like, people, when they think of, like, relationships in their mind, I always go back. I said this probably about 2 years ago. I go back to a dinner table, right? A lot of motherfuckers is like, yo, I'm going to bring the mashed potatoes. You bring the mac and cheese. You bring this. I'm going to bring this. And so I think a lot of times as people, not saying that who we date cannot elevate us in certain areas, but I think a lot of times we're waiting on a partner to become the best version of ourselves.
To pick up our slack.
And so it's like, you know what, man, I'm bad at time management, but I'm going to find me a wife that's good at time management. I'm going to get better.
Pick up our, that ain't going to work.
Versus actually really improving those things upon yourself. So your wife may better you in time management, but you learned time management. So it's like a self-love thing, and I feel like a lot of people are waiting on that better half to fully love themselves, because it's like they trying to fill in, parts of themselves versus trying to fill it in on their own. They hoping somebody come with the paintbrush that they should have had the whole time.
But I feel like some men, that's that prideful shit you gotta let go, because my woman can't teach me nothing. I'm the man of this house. Like, what, Flintstone? You better get out of here. She helping you out. She trying to teach you what you lacking, and you have to accept that your woman wants the best interest for you. Not trying to, you need me to do this. No, somebody that love you gonna teach you no matter what.
But the self-love,
you gonna get taught.
But the self-love part is kind of what we talking about. Is a lot of times we can't be our best self if we're waiting on somebody to come teach us that. So that'd be real. And so it's like, so when you take the time to really, like, like, better yourself, because, like, if I sit here and wait for a woman to tell me that I'm a good man, I'm gonna be waiting forever. Because even when she does tell me, I'm probably not gonna hear it because it wasn't said the way in my mind I always visualized it.
You feel like you had to press her to say that.
And so it's like, even like me, I'm a father now. I would love to hear that I'm a great father. But until I tell myself that I'm a great father, it's not gonna mean nothing, because unless I believe it. So that's kind of where the self-love thing comes from. You're never gonna be your best self until you are realistic with yourself. Because obviously there's always going to be areas that you need to improve. But sometimes you got to pat yourself on the back. And I think way too often is, like, I think growing up, especially as men, growing up, we always kind of, we don't get praised a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, even think about when we play sports. Coach oftentimes then walk up to you and say, man, you did a great job. But when y'all was watching film and you missed this block, you missed this, you missed this, you missed this, you like, damn, but I scored 10 touchdowns.
With your confidence, though. It be crushing your confidence.
I scored 10 touchdowns, but I only fumbled one time. And we've been in film, and you've been telling me for the last hour about the fumble. And so I think as men, oftentimes people think that's how they build strength in us. Yeah, they think like a lot of times we get like people try to build men the toxic way. Oh, I'm gonna force these things on him. I'm gonna teach him how to be a man by making him figure it out. But man, I'm not gonna help him. I'm gonna put him on when he turned 18. I'm gonna send him out into the world on his own. And over and over, we just get to like we get forced into we become survivalists. Yeah. So we learn everything off of survival because from a very young age, our emotions was survival. Like our mental was survival. Our physical was survival. Now we older, and we don't even know how to fucking like build ourselves because nobody ever helped build us.
It's a double-edged sword because then this is where you have to find balance. You get too emotional. You just getting too emotional. You know what I'm saying? With stuff that shouldn't even be worth your time. And this is where I say, real with yourself, know your self-value, fix what you know you lack at, and that's being real with yourself. You know what I'm saying? Once you move that way, you can be with a bad shorty. But if you know you really not happy there, you gonna hit her with the, listen, we could do this till I find something and you find something, or, you know what I'm saying, I really can't be with you. You know what I'm saying? It was cool while it lasted. But once you move in a certain way and carry yourself a certain way, that relationship ain't hurting you. That it's not gonna kill you if you don't talk to that person no more.
You know, but like even like if we like just even take the relationship part of relationship part out of it, like I said, it just comes down to like one, especially us as older men, we gotta be willing to tell. You know what I'm saying? We gotta be willing to develop young boys a little bit better than how we was developed. Like, you know what I'm saying? We gotta break the cycle. Like, yeah, you know, so we really gotta like really break the cycle, and I think that's what it comes like how the top, like, right, mental health, right? Motherfuckers don't really. Nobody's really ever taught us how to own our emotions. Hey, you know what? Drav, you was okay with feeling that way. Jamal, you was okay with feeling that way. But next time, I want you to kind of redirect that energy and do it a different way. Yeah. Like as men, how I feel. As men, if you think that's about it, keep it 100. As men, we get taught two things. We either handle something wrong or we, you know what I'm saying? Like I go back to like, right, if somebody at school, like, you know what I'm saying, did something they wasn't supposed to, why didn't you fight them? Or why didn't you, you know what I'm saying? But then when we do fight,
why'd you fight?
Why did you fight? You know what I'm saying? We kind of get pulled in multiple directions on how we're supposed to feel and how we're supposed to react. Nobody sits down and actually has that conversation on how to handle it.
This is what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, it all, like I said, everything come back to you. You know what I'm saying? At a certain time, you carry yourself. Your happiness, and you know, once you get older, you know what I'm saying, your happiness is more valuable than anything else. I'm not sacrificing my mental for you, because I done been in the dark spot. You feel me? I think we've all been in the dark spot. You feel me? And that motherfucker, that, you know, especially with anything can trigger, you could think about somebody you love that passed away and you'll just get sad real quick. But you was there for a long time, and once you experience being there for a long time, you don't want to go back. That shit is not for, you feel me? Some people, you know, commit suicide because they can't handle that. It's a lot, you feel me? But if you know how that felt and you done got your ass in shape and got back to going on the right path, you know what I'm saying? Your praise is going to be your results. You know what I'm saying?
And I think, like, when you said when you used the word happiness, I think, like, when we got older, we got kicked out the house. Rather you got kicked out the house, or rather you were forced to go become an adult.
It's your time.
You know, it's your time to go. Time. But I think, like, as we got older, we started to understand, and I don't know if anybody who's listening deals with this, is that your happiness is fragile.
Boy,
emotion is fragile. Everything is fragile because it's like certain things that happen in your adult life can make or break you. It can present success. It can present failure. It can present being a bum. It can present sit here making money.
Right.
Like, so when it comes to on a man's standpoint, because as you said, Sho, we as men, I call us men, you know, we're 27, 28, 26 now, 24, right? So now our decisions are very crucial. When we're young, when we're of young boys, we have to be brute. We have to be aggressive. We cannot show emotion. And I'm not sitting here trying to knock any parent out here that's sitting here doing that, like your teaching method and stuff, because some boys actually grow to be successful. But one thing that I've learned, and I'm just speaking for myself, like when it came to women, due to how I was raised, it wasn't so welcoming for me to be emotionally available, for me to be vulnerable, for me to put everything on the table of what I personally deal with. With me, like my best friend was my grandmother. When I lost my grandmother, that was the only female in my life that I could sit there and tell everything to, where you could sit here and put it all on the table. They can give you different perspectives that can make you feel good. Even if it does come with some type of pain, it makes you feel good and it allows you to move forward.
But that's the thing about having, when you wake up, you got an opportunity. Every day. And you know, if you got that opportunity, everybody don't get that. Once you realize that, you gonna move different. Everybody don't have the same opportunity. Hold on. Everybody don't got that. So from your mistakes, people that are successful, they don't give up after their first, you know what I'm saying? They go back to the drawing board. Oh, I did that wrong the other day. Well, let me do it like this. Or I did handle that situation the wrong way. That's real growth. Like you saying, you value stuff different. You trying to be successful. You're not trying to put no bad energy out in the world. So you move different. You let people treat you a certain way. Cause I'm listening. I got love for myself. You're not gonna treat me like I ain't worth 2 pennies. You feel me? Or you know what I'm saying? With me, if you don't show me appreciation and you really don't do nothing for me, I'm gonna have a problem. I'm not even gonna stress myself out because I'm gonna be done dealing with it, or it's gonna be however I want it to be. You feel me? And that, I mean, they could call that doggy dog, whatever. No, you don't have to do this. I'm not forcing you to talk to me. This is what your pleasure. You know what I'm saying? It's a positive and negative. Well, I ain't getting no relationship, but this is great. You know what I'm saying? That's their problem. You know what I mean? But if you move in a certain way, you ain't gonna have no problems for that. Ain't no woman gonna be out their place and this, that, and the third. You gonna move a certain way. But like I said, you know what I'm saying? You have the opportunity to change your situation every day. I don't care if you breathing. You know what I'm saying? You may need some help. If it's okay if you need help. You know, as a man, we don't want it to get help. Shit. You got some advice for me how to make these millions? Talk to me. I'm listening. But you can't be too cocky. I can't take no advice from him. He think he know it all. Like, what, dude? You broke. He got something in motion. If he's willing to give you a wave and give you some knowledge, be open to that. Accept it. You know what I'm saying?
No, Sho, man. Sho, what were you gonna say? Because we're gonna end this on Mike's point and stuff. But what were you trying to say?
I think kind of like when we talk about the mental health, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times, like kind of like in this conversation, we kind of like pointed towards like relationship, or we pointed like I guess what I like pretty much what I'm trying. The biggest piece, unfortunately, what mental health is, it's easier to say, hey, just realize that your self-worth. Just realize your self-worth. And I think some of that was like kind of like in the conversations like, yo, man, when you realize your value, you won't just like, I think the goal is to come up with ways for men to realize that. Not just say, hey, when you realize your value, when you know your value, you won't accept this. And I understand that. But it's like a lot of motherfuckers, it take them a long time to realize their value and understand that. It's like, that's why I say like, we got to really kind of, you know, got to get in the mindset of really trying to open that door on what it looks like to teach each other value. Right. And it comes to support from other men. That's why I said we got to get rid of the conversation when we talk about mental health. We got to kind of get rid of the conversation about relationships and like as far as with the opposite sex, and we got to start talking about the conversation with men within each other. Like next time we see a man on social media complaining, crying, whatever it may be, expressing, don't get on there and say, yo, delete this, bro. Like, man, this ain't the way to go. Get on there and really provide words of encouragement. Next time we see a man at weakness, hey, don't be like, man, hey, man, toughen up, man. It could be worse. Get there and really try to empathize and get down to their level.
Yeah,
and I feel like a lot of times we, especially as men, we expect other men to move the way we move. We expect men to handle depression, handle certain things maybe the way we need, like, you know, that we do. So it gets to a point, bro, if I see a man on social media wilding, I don't even get on there and say delete. I get on there, I empathize with you, dog. I want you, and not saying that I condone what you're doing, but I empathize with you. Because you never know that idea, just empathizing with him could be like, you know what? I need to delete this, bro.
I'm
like
tripping.
Because sometimes we just want to know we not crazy for feeling how we feel. But unfortunately, a lot of times as men, we get called crazy for feeling how we feel. So a lot of times we just need somebody to really let us feel how we feel. And I feel like a lot of times men don't have a space to feel how they feel.
But then that's why I say it's important for you to know your value, because you don't need validation from nobody, man. You don't.
But that's easier said than done, though.
It is, but you have to find that in yourself. I don't need you to pat me on the back. I'm out here. My results are showing. Because I'm putting in the work. Listen, I'm betting on myself. And people don't realize that. Bet on yourself. Get in with yourself. Put time in yourself.
But realistically, every man's not going to realize their own value.
You got
and so that's why I said sometimes as men, we got to help each other.
Yeah. Because
when a woman is struggling with her own value, other women's like, yo, you valuable. Yeah. So I get what you said. We don't need validation from others, but I think we do.
I
think
it's nice to hear.
I think
but you don't need it.
I think it's healthy to get us there, though.
It's nice to hear, but you do not need that.
But you got to do it
Why
yourself.
do you need my validation to know your worth?
That's like taking a horse to the water. You can't make him drink. You have to drink the water himself.
Right. But you listen. This is where I say you can't be like, oh God, I dropped the charger, but you know you shouldn't have dropped that charger. You know that shit is trash. Why did you waste your money? You know what I'm saying? You can't pop that shit because at the end of the day, you real with yourself. You can't pull up to no niggas with no scat pack or no V8 talking about you popping your shit. Nigga, you a weenie out here.
I give
you wasting your time.
I give you an example. You're a father, right?
Yeah.
You don't need nobody to tell you you're a good father.
Oh, I know.
But when somebody walks up to you and provides you with that, does that not feel a little bit better?
It feel good. It's nice
cool.
to the ear. You don't need it though.
But what I'm saying is, it's not that you need it. But
it's good to hear. It's good to hear in the mental.
But that's what I'm saying. We need to start providing these.
Yes,
you
I
can't,
agree
like, so
with
when
that.
we say that we taking mental health,
you don't
we can't
need
keep
it,
telling
though.
somebody you got to figure that out on your own. You don't need nobody else's.
You don't.
But
it's
we
nice
have.
You got to figure out yourself.
You do. Being real with yourself.
Men, we have an opportunity to uplift each other and provide that.
We do.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
Yes, I'm agreeing. It's nice to hear. It is great to hear. I like to hear good shit. I like to say good shit when I see somebody doing good personally. That's me though, but that energy comes from me because I know my value. I know it would feel good. And look, you gotta be like, when you was down, it would have been nice to hear that. Now you got the opportunity to do it.
To someone else.
Do it to somebody else. Didn't nobody do it for you, but you know it's nice to hear you could do that for somebody else. That should make you, that's good. I feel good when people feel good about themselves. Or if I can change the emotions of a person by a positive way, that feels good to somebody. When you buy a chick flowers and she love them, you like, damn, I did that. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? If she play your shit to the left, you know what? You don't need that. I'll find somebody else to do that for. You don't appreciate it. And I don't need your validation to feel appreciated because I know what I'm doing is nice. It's not average.
Let me say one thing. You know, when we talked about validation, I think, like, especially like with men, even though show you saying like we need to sit here and pass on positive reinforcement to our brothers and men out there. I get that, But we also need to talk about the bigger picture. The bigger picture is that we got to stop making excuses on why we not why we are. Mm-hmm. So we more so need to focus on, like Draft said, self-improvement. Because if you simply don't work on who you want to be, you're going to be, like, if I'm 27, if I'm not working to improve on the next Jamal, I'm going to be, when I'm 35, 40 years old, I'm going to be 27 Jamal. So we got to remove the excuse type thing and want better for us as individuals and as far as our homies.
But, so one thing, it's not for me. It's not me making an excuse, but one thing we all did at this, like we all admitted that we were not raised necessarily correctly with those certain things. So what I'm trying to say is, as men that can evenly admit that they were not raised with validation, they were not raised with words of affirmation, is that men, the best thing we can do is now start providing that, you know what I'm saying, with each other. I understand completely that that's something you have to see within yourself. There's a lot of things, bro. Like, I always say this. If somebody didn't tell you that credit was important, it probably would have took you fucking forever to realize credit was important. So like saying that, hey, you just need to work on yourself and figure out your self-validation. Yeah. But if nobody ever showed you what that looked like, nobody ever taught you, gonna be fucking 40 before you like, you know what? I am important. Yeah. You finally, as I was just saying, is as men, we can start telling each other now versus waiting until you, like, you know what I'm saying, waiting until you discover it on your own. And that's what I'm saying. Let's teach each other that now versus you having to figure it out on your own.
That's just taking a bull by the horns, though. Like being a dad, you know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. You are doing that. Now we know we wasn't raised right. We gonna
fix it ourselves. Like, you don't want to raise, like,
you're not gonna let that mistake happen again with yours.
Correct. But I also needed help by going to therapy.
So some people need
that's what I'm saying. So that is what I mean by like you said, like I feel like that's why I'm not saying what y'all saying is wrong, but I'm saying let's try to get the wording right by saying, hey, just figure out self-love on your own. Like, figure out your self-value on your own. Because like I said, sometimes like I said, if you spent the last 18 years of your life not understanding self-value, self-worth, you're not just gonna turn it on because one day I realize, like, you know what? I think I know. It takes time. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause you like, but I'm saying sometimes, but for you that was a beautiful thing.
I was like, shit, I ain't got nothing going on.
But I tell you something too. What we do? Sometimes we think we understand our self-worth because things are going good. Like, so you like, you know what? I finally got things going good for you, so I know my value. Then as soon as it goes bad, you go back into what you know. I don't feel self-worth. But so that's why I said, like, sometimes we gotta provide that, like provide those, you know what I'm saying, provide those things.
A crackhead is not gonna be free until they really want to be free. We can encourage and help.
Being grown.
Hold on.
No, I'm just saying. No, I mean, we all backside.
It's some drugs out there.
That got a grip. That got a grip.
Come back.
But it is. I mean, but at the end of the day, the therapy and the rehab. Yeah, the therapy and the rehab is just to help them and keep. Because some people do need like validation and it does help.
They need to hear the encouragement.
But that's little pats on the back. But at the end of the day, to really lock in, you gotta want that. You gotta be like, shit, they right. You know what I'm saying? 100%. It helps to get you there, but at the end of the day, you got to tell yourself, like, yeah, they right, man. I'm too good for that.
It's a you thing.
Just like when you in relationships and you know you too good for that, bro. You're not going to let nobody treat you no type of way. You're going to be like, man, fuck, at a job, they not treating you right. All right, motherfuckers, I know my value. Let me put my app back out there. Okay, found one. They don't even know I'm about to quit.
Hey, everybody like that, though. Everybody not like that.
You got to get there. You
got to get there. I know.
But listen to what you said, too, and that you put your app in for somebody else, so that new job kind of is what your validation was. So therefore, there still was an external source that kind of made you feel better about, like, you know, now I know it.
I'm not gonna lie.
So that's why sometimes
it goes hand in hand.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It goes hand in hand.
When I went to school and then I did my first job and I made my first like check from HVAC. And I was making $25 at UDF. I was the head store manager, making $25. My take home was still only like $700. I made that in fucking 3 hours. 3 hours. I knew then. It wasn't no. Listen,
No
boy.
question.
It was one time, and that's what I
but
needed.
But it still was an external source.
No,
you said,
a trade itself is something I do.
But you said,
I don't
but you
work
said,
for
but
nobody
you said,
doing that.
But you said after 3 hours of seeing how much money you made, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
then you like,
money is just validation.
But that's what I'm saying. Is that,
my muscle,
but it was still an external.
And I went, so, like, I went to seek that knowledge. Just like Elon Musk, they are getting better. Then, like you just said, Jamal, you're not trying to be the same Jamal from right now, 10 years from now. You trying to be a whole nother. They like, no, that level on 5, 10 businesses. It's leveling up.
You remember?
You
remember Optimus Prime? Optimus Prime only had the pickup truck. Now we see the dude. He got wings and he got a sword. Like,
he upgraded his pack.
My man upgraded his pack. Like,
you're not getting no XXT Dodge Challenger. You gonna get the scat pack. If you gonna do it, you gonna do it right. You ain't gonna come out there, baby.
Top of the moot. Yeah.
What
sure.
you like you said, you just in the way. You in the way, man.